Hey guys, so something really cool happened this week. I just bought a new cologne. Now, that happens all the time. That's not a special thing. But I had such good feelings when I bought this cologne that I was like, what's going on here? How am I getting such good feelings from just smelling something? So I did a lot of research, and after all my research, I found some really cool things about smelling and about memory and feelings and emotions. So stick around to find out more. Hey guys, I'm Daniel from Doldier Media, and today I'm going to be talking about smells, what they do, how they're associated with memory, and any other cool things I found out in my research. So about a week ago, me and my wife were in San Francisco, and we were walking around. We stumbled upon it's called Atelier. It's a little boutique that sells only colognes and perfumes from France. I kind of went in there because my wife made me do it. You know, that's kind of what happens. And I mean, the place was cute. It was like Emily in Paris kind of thing, you know, the vibes. The girl was French that worked there. I asked her what the best cologne was, and she said it's oud. And I've never heard of oud. It sounds weird, honestly. I thought maybe it was a French word for wood. And she let me smell it, and I absolutely was obsessed with the smell of oud. Later on in the video, I'm going to tell you guys exactly what oud is and why this smell is so unique. So we ended up getting some small sizes that were affordable and a bunch of free samples. And for the past week now, I've been spraying the oud smell on myself. And every single time I spray this cologne on myself, I get such good vibes, and honestly, it's been really fascinating. So I started looking into this, and this is exactly what happens when we smell something pleasant. And when we smell something bad too, the same exact reaction happens. So I don't want to get into the boring details of smell. The basics of it is this: you have these nerves called olfactory nerves. I'm actually going to put up a video if you look at the video. So on the video, I'm zooming into the nasal bridge, and you see those little nerves sticking out, and it connects directly to the hippocampus and the amygdala. If you look at the amygdala, it's actually that little pea-sized little thing. It's kind of in the middle. It looks like a little peanut. That's the amygdala. Right now, what I just highlighted is the hippocampus. And I'm going to explain what these two are, but that's exactly the structure and anatomy of this. If you look closely, you can actually see the nerve fibers coming off of the main nerve, and this is directly linked to the limbic system. Here's one more video, and the video actually shows through the nose how it's all linked, and just the nervous system with how it looks in the human body. So how does smell work? Without getting all nerdy and sciencey, I'm just gonna kind of summarize it. So when we smell something, we have little nerves that are called olfactory nerves that are in our nose. And those nerves, they pretty much have chemoreceptors that can sense the molecule that's in the air that you're smelling. And they translate into some kind of a action potential or a signal that your nerve sends to your brain. Now what's fascinating is the actual signal that's sent directly to your brain is sent directly to the limbic system. Now, what is the limbic system? The limbic system is responsible for your memories, your emotions, your fears, and the olfactory nerves have a direct route, almost immediately go to your hippocampus and your amygdala. Now, your hippocampus is directly responsible with creating new memories, whether they're long-term or short-term. The limbic system's functions, honestly, they're too long to discuss, but the two ones I'm going to focus on is your hippocampus, which on the video you saw, it kind of looked like a little thing. I highlighted it. The hippocampus is responsible for creating new memories. Old memories, new memories. Honestly, the hippocampus is a very fascinating thing. A lot of people, they think when you create memories, you maybe goes to your prefrontal cortex or some other part of the brain. We honestly don't spend that much time thinking about it. But the hippocampus is what's responsible for memories, and your smell or your nose nerves are directly linked to the hippocampus. The next thing is the amygdala. The amygdala is fascinating because that's responsible for fears and for certain emotions. There's actually studies out there that say that serial killers have smaller amygdalas when they're born. So when they're doing research into serial killers and into their brains, they don't know if their limbic system in terms of their amygdala even developed, or maybe they were just born with a small one, and that's why they don't have the same sense of fear and the same emotional responses that normal people have that are not sociopaths or psychopaths. But aside from that, the amygdala is responsible for a sensation of fear and certain emotional responses. So with this being said, when you smell something, it directly goes to your hippocampus and your amygdala, and it creates an emotional response or an emotional memory, and it also creates a new memory in your hippocampus. So when you smell something, that signal goes directly to your hippocampus and it creates a memory, but also it creates an emotion in your amygdala. I'm going to link some studies down below. Now, what I found in my research was pretty interesting. First of all, it's easier to create new memories when there's new scents or smells associated with it. What's cool about that is that one of the things I like to do is in a new chapter of my life, something that I've never done, I like to get a new cologne, and it helps me later on remember the memories that I had. Now, I never knew this was actually backed by research, but there's research that suggests that when you're doing something and if you want to remember it better, you have a new smell associated with that, and it's going to be directly linked to your hippocampus so that you could recall that memory easier when you smell that same smell again. Now, in the research that I've seen, it turns out that these memories that are created with the scents cannot actually be easily overridden, or it's almost impossible to override the memories. So traditionally, when we have a memory, we could keep rethinking about that memory, and eventually the memory will change. But when the memory is associated to a smell, you almost cannot override that. You're always going to go back to that initial first memory every time you smell that smell. With this, they've been trying to create new therapies. There's so little that we know about this, but they've been trying to create therapies that people actually smell a good smell, that it's associated to a good memory or a good feeling. And they do a therapy a few times a week, and it's been shown that it decreases depression, and there's even been evidence that it actually decreases inflammation. Just having a smell decreasing inflammation, that's pretty fascinating in my opinion. On the other end of this, if there's a smell directly linked to PTSD, then that is always going to be there, and that's always going to be a trigger. So they're trying to do research to find out exactly how we can override it, or how we can at least undermine the PTSD that people get from certain smells. Researchers right now are trying to figure out if there's easier ways to create new memories with smells. So far, the evidence is showing us that that is possible, but it is pretty cool to know that you could just smell something and it'll help your memory. So 40 years down the road, you smell that same smell, and all those memories and emotions and feelings are gonna come back. Now about oud. So I'm wearing it right now. I don't know if you could see how happy I am. But oud is actually fascinating. Oud is agarwood. And what is agarwood? So it's a tree that's located in the Far East, Vietnam, India, Cambodia, places like that. And what happens is when an animal brushes upon the tree and kind of bruises it, or some other kind of thing happens, there's a specific parasite that infects the tree. That sounds nasty, I know. What the tree does though is it tries to heal itself by releasing this almost resin-like substance. And over years, the tree gets it pretty much fully submerged by that resin that it created. That resin itself is oud. And so what they do is they chip away at this tree when they find it, and they sell the actual resin, and they sell the wood chips that have the resin associated, which are agarwood or oud. And this wood goes upwards of $100,000 per kilogram. Now, I've seen prices go for about $30,000 to $50,000 per kilogram right now. It's one of the most expensive woods out there. So what people do is they get the essence, the oil of the oud, and they add it to some perfumes or some colognes. And it has the most unique smell. Honestly, if you've never smelt it, I recommend going out and just at least taking a smell of this. It cannot be compared to any other smell. You have like a vanilla smell in some things, you have a citrus smell, a floral smell, but this is a unique woodsy, almost a little bit smoky smell. I just wanted to share this because I feel really good smelling this. So if you guys want to create new memories, I recommend find a new smell, find a new perfume, cologne, or some kind of scent. And when you're doing something new like traveling or going somewhere, incorporate that smell heavily. And then so you could always tap back into that and always go back to that place that you were at. The memories do rush back, the feelings do rush back, and it's very therapeutic. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys like this, subscribe to my channel, hit that like button. Please let me know in the comments what you guys think about oud. Honestly, it is amazing. Thank you.